All right, let's get into it. If you're in government or work for a nonprofit, the phrase strategic planning might make you think of some dusty binder sitting on a shelf, right? Well, today, we're going to flip that whole idea on its head. We're going to dig into the work of John M. Bryson to see how strategy can actually be this incredible tool for cutting through the chaos and creating real, lasting public value. So let's dive in.
Look, public and nonprofit organizations, they don't exist in some neat little bubble. They're out there in the real world, a world where funding, politics, and public opinion are shifting all the time. And as John Bryson points out here, one little change somewhere can send these chaotic ripples everywhere. So in an environment like that, how do you even begin to do good work?
And that's really the big question, isn't it? I mean, when you're swimming in that much uncertainty and complexity, how do you actually move forward with any kind of purpose? How do you make sure the work you're doing is actually making a difference and not just, putting out the latest fire?
Well, the answer starts with completely redefining what we think strategy is. It's not about creating stacks of paperwork. It's about something way more dynamic. It's about organizing hope.
This is so important. The strategic plan is not the goal. The goal is to get better at thinking strategically, acting strategically, and constantly learning. The plan itself, that's just a tool to help you get there. It's really a disciplined process that forces you to have those big, important conversations that probably wouldn't happen otherwise.
I just love this quote because it totally reframes the whole exercise. It's not about bureaucracy or limiting what you can do. It's about taking your biggest hopes and dreams for your organization and figuring out how to make them happen in a practical, achievable way. It's about making hope reasonable.
And here's the more formal take on it. At its heart, strategic planning is just a structured way to answer the biggest, most fundamental questions. Who are we? What do we do? And the most important one of all, why do we do it? Now, to see how this actually works, we've got to look at two foundational ideas.
First up is something every public and nonprofit deals with, but maybe doesn't always get right: mandates. This is all about getting crystal clear on what you absolutely must do.
So, mandates are your non-negotiables. They can be formal things like actual laws and regulations, or they can be informal, like the expectations of your biggest funders or the community you serve. Think of them as the boundaries of your playground. You have to know where they are.
And it's so easy to fall into these traps. Organizations either miss a requirement they didn't even know they had, or even worse, they act like they're in a straitjacket, thinking they have way less freedom than they actually do. And that kind of thinking just completely crushes any chance for innovation.
And this is exactly why getting clear on your mandates is so critical. It's actually liberating, because once you understand what you must do, you see exactly where the walls are, and that reveals this wide-open space where you are totally free to create and innovate. This is what Bryson calls your unconstrained field of action.
Okay, so once you know the boundaries of your playground, you need a destination. You need to know where you're headed. And that brings us to the second pillar, public value. This is your ultimate reason for being. It's your why.
Public value is basically the good you're trying to create in the world. It's your North Star. If you're a government agency or a nonprofit, every single thing you do should be aimed at creating public value. I mean, that's the whole reason you get public funding or tax-exempt status in the first place.
And hey, public value isn't some fuzzy, abstract idea. It takes very real forms. It can mean protecting people's rights, making sure processes are fair, preserving our history, or delivering essential services without wasting money. Sometimes it's simply making sure we're all thinking about the long-term health of our society.
So let's bring this all together. We've got our two big ideas: mandates, the things you must do, and your mission to create public value, the things you want to do. The real art of strategy is all in the balancing act between them.
You can really see the core tension right here. On one side, you have the musts. These mandates are usually pushed on you from the outside, right? They define your boundaries. And on the other side, you've got your wants, your mission, and the public value you want to create. That comes from inside. It's your destination. One is the fence, the other is the horizon.
And here's the big takeaway. This is not an either-or situation. You can't just ignore your mandates, but you also can't let them be the only thing that guides you. Real strategic success comes from finding that artful balance, meeting every single one of your obligations while still creatively and passionately chasing a mission that creates lasting public value.
So this gives us a really simple but super powerful way to think about it. Step 1, know your musts. Step 2, define your wants. Now the real strategic work, the magic, it happens right in the middle, identifying the key challenges that live in the gap between those two. because solving those issues is how you actually create public value.
So after you've gone through this process, what do you really end up with? Well, it's a lot more than just some document. What you have is a powerful story to tell.
Yeah, think about it that way. Your strategy is your organization's core story. It's your value proposition, it's the compelling argument for why you should even exist, why you deserve to have resources, and why anyone should care about and support the work that you do.
And this quote just nails it. Your strategy is the story of how you take money, people, and time and turn them into results. And those results have to do three things. They have to satisfy your mandates, they have to fulfill your mission, and above all else, they have to create real, tangible public value.
So that leaves us with a final question for you. What is the story of public value that your organization needs to tell? How can it both honor what you must do while also boldly chasing what you want to achieve for the common good? Answering that, well, that's the heart of real strategy.